Everybody,
Good morning.
it is such a blessing to be with you today. I was so grateful to Kim for making the introduction to PJ so that we could come together like this. And then yes, later today at 1 o'clock I'll be doing a sound bath experience that is all about love, the frequency of love, pouring that love into your vessel so that this beautiful stuff you're hearing today helps to sink into your soul and into your system a little bit deeper so that you can go out there and be that which you are intended to be. Today I'm blessed to talk a little bit about self, about who we are and how we live our life and what we can do in our life to help harken back into that with which we came in with, that we kind of forgot. So I'm kind of curious, how many here, by a show of hands, remembers that moment that you were birthed into this world and took your first breath? Okay, I don't see anybody. So that automatically tells us this is a game of life called remembering. Because when you came in, you were that. You were love, you were light, you were all of the things that Spirit says we are, right? You were that. And what happened to us is that we were curious. We were open and receptive to understand what is this new place we're in, and what am I to know from this, and how am I to learn? So we started moving in our life, and we started relying on caretakers, teachers, what we saw as wisdom keepers, what society told us was necessary for us to live in this world and protect ourselves. And some of us had some journeys that were pretty rough, right? So it told us something even deeper. Taught us a lot about hurt and rejection and disappointment and frustrations of life. And by the time we got to 7, do you know what happened to us? 95% of our subconscious that holds all that we've known about ourselves and our world is cemented into our being. And that tells us how we're going to live our life. These are going to be the guides that we use to show up in the world. Hurt, disappointment, trauma, frustration, fear, anxiety. These things were leading us always at some point in our life. But what I do know to be true about everyone, it doesn't matter who you are, what you've been through, what you've done, what you haven't done, it doesn't matter. Because what I know is that within each of you, there's a remembrance. There's a hearkening back to that which you showed up as. And it keeps tapping you, saying, I don't know about that. Something doesn't feel right to me about this. You start wondering, what would life be like if I'm not dealing with this? If I was free of this, if I was free from the trauma, if I was free from these things that I can't seem to get off my back. And so that little voice that I call Spirit, some might call it George, I had to stop and think about it. I had to really take a hard look at that. I have a journey that doesn't have what I would call big T's, the big traumas of life that are in our face and we can recognize it when we see it. I had planted a seed of little T's things people said, things I saw, what that was telling me, what that was showing me. And it was very subtle. Very subtle. And so I had to figure it out a little bit deeper because it wasn't right in front of my face. And then I started to see it all around me. That it wasn't just me. We're all bumping up against each other with these big T's, little T's, these things, and they're setting us off. And so I made a choice that I was going to accept what I believed all along. That was, I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not my family. I'm nothing but what I choose to say I am. And that really rattled my cage. And what I started to see myself as this bird in this beautiful cage, and I'm on my perch, and there's no bars in front of me. What do I want? What am I willing to do to get out that door, to see what all of that is like? Because what I've been told, all that out there is scary, gonna hurt me, isn't for me, won't understand me, yet something inside said the complete opposite. That outside that door is love, liberation, and a life that I've only been able to dream about but never touch or experience. And that made me go, how do I get out that door? How do I do this? And so I started a journey in 2008, coming out of a really difficult relationship that told me basically I was a piece of crap. And I knew I wasn't, but I believed it. And something said, get out now. You put 14 years into something that has totally soaked you, but you don't know how. And go figure it out. And so I did. I left. I stopped everything. I changed my job. I changed my career. I changed my location. I left everything I knew as who I was behind me. And as I drove from Texas to California, I remember very specifically out in West Texas where there is nothing but this, that I took a moment, which probably wasn't the safest thing, but I took a moment for me to look in the rearview mirror. And what I saw told me everything I needed about what was ahead, that I'm free. That what I set out to do, what I set out to create, me. What do I want? How do I want to live? What does that look like? Never before had I ever wondered what I wanted. I served everyone else at my expense, is what I discovered. And so I started my inward journey, all different ways. I've been Church of Christ, Baptist, Catholic, Buddhist, non-denominational, science of mind, unity. There have been so many things in my seeking of my truth that taught me that I'm going to go places I never thought I would, and I'm going to do things I never dreamed of to get my healing. And so as I moved through this time, what I learned was, I can't go like this. I can't think, okay, I'm gonna get around that one. That's hot, I'm leaving that. What I learned was, you're hot, what's going on over here? I'm gonna sit with you. And I'm not gonna sit with you with, I hate you. You hurt me. I'm going to sit with you, down by you. I'm going to love you, and I'm going to get you to open up to me. hardest thing I ever did in my life. The best thing I ever did in my life. And what I discovered was all these little things that I was running from were running behind me. And they were persistent and consistent. And they were not going to let go. And the only thing I knew to do was to turn around and go, what do you want?
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
want? And that changed my life forever. Because what I discovered was not hate, not fear, not some kind of retribution that was going to get up all over me and just beat me down. It was like, hey, I want to tell you something. Okay, what do you got? And I discovered that in the stopping and the looking and the being open and being really, really vulnerable was this part of me that was hurting and needed love. But beneath the love was what I call the gold. That everything we go through in our life, there is a lesson. That lesson is what I call gold, spiritual coin. It's an energetic, it's a knowingness. And so when we actually stop, everything stops, because we are the universe. We hold that within us. And so when we command enough, enough is enough. And things start to shift. And what I discovered was when I was like, no, stop everything, I could feel it rush by me. That the frenetic energy all around me was just running, and it's just following me. And so when I stopped, it stopped. It kind of went ahead, and they went like, wait, where is he? And came back. It finds you. It's very good about that. It finds you. And it found me. And this time when it found me, I was like very curious.
Yes.
And when you live, and this is what I impart to you right now, is if you're living your life and just dealing with it as it comes, and just on to the next thing, that's how you're going to live your life from this point forward. It will never stop, and it will keep going. But if you make another choice and you say, stop, it stops. You say, hey, I need to know you. I need to know all of you. And when I say all of you, in the realm I work in, which is holistic healing via coaching, sound, breath, I also delve into the psychedelic arena. If somebody's wanting to use that as their medicine, I am okay with that. I will help you walk through that so that they can get what they're looking for. I'm not going to say yes or no to anybody's type of healing that speaks to them from within. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to heal them. And so I stopped, and I looked, and I listened, and I met every part of my being. When I discovered that within us are all these, I say aspects, some people say parts, some people say inner children. And at first I was like, that's too woo-woo for me. Like, I don't know that. And what Spirit showed me is everything I said no to, or that's woo-woo, is running in my life today. So I pay attention now, and I'm like, I don't do that. It's like, oh yeah, you are. So I'm like, okay, let me think about it. Give me a minute, right? And so when we stop and we say yes, we are saying yes to ourselves. We are saying yes to loving ourselves. And what I learned in my business of having a company called The Love Effect, which means that's who you are. I don't have to train you or teach you or bring you to a workshop to show you how to go be love in the world. That's not what I do. What I do is I help you show love to this world. to the world that is divinely and uniquely yours, that there will never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, never, ever be another you. And that you deserves love. That you deserves to let your light shine so brightly that people can't help themselves. That they want to know, what are you doing? I don't know why I'm attracted to you, but I just am. I want to come sit by you. I want to hear what you have to say. Because when we don't hold our light, but we allow it to be and be in our truth, it just happens. It just happens. And so I say to you today, if you are holding something within you that is clogging your vessel, that is slowing you down, that is keeping you somewhere that you're not really loving, you have things within you, and the main thing you have within you that you are given by the divine right is your will and your choice. And the most loving thing that I believe Spirit is saying to all of us is, please, use your will, use your choice to stand up for yourself, to peel these layers of conditions off that have been put on you from 0 to 7. And I do have clients where some of that came on before 0 in the womb. It's real. And it's potent. But what I also have discovered in my work of helping people walk through their conditions into the light is that it does not hold them. The minute they decide and see it differently, see the lesson, see the love in it, see where Spirit through all of it was saying, look at that. That showed you how independent you are. That abandonment you experienced as a child, rooted in you the belief in self that I'm going to take care of me. And that belief brought you fortune of some variety, a business, a healthy lifestyle. The challenging parents made you a better parent because you were like, I'm not doing that. Yet we hold the resentments. And when we can see the lesson, and we understand that just like us, those before us came in with stuff. Those before us made a collection of their hurts. And what science is telling us is all that was before this is in here. It's in here. And it's running. And we might not know it, but it does show up. And so we're in a time right now that is so beautiful, yet extremely challenging. And what we're in right now is the desire within all of us to stand in our fullness against all odds. And this world is creating a lot of odds for us. It's creating a territory sometimes where love is hard to see, hard to be present with. But the actual truth of it is the most beautiful ground to build on. Because the shaky ground, when you come into the shaky ground with solid footing, all things start to become solid. When you are solid in you and you love you with all your being, and I mean all your being, where you even catch yourself, sometimes I'll find myself just doing this to me. And I'm like, oh, thank God, yeah. Or my mom, growing up, she would do this. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And some of my hardest moments in doing my work, okay, Chuck, hang in there. You got this. You got it. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I don't care who sees me. I don't care what they think. I care what I think. I care about what I need. Because what I know is that when we get to this place of self-love, that deep inner knowing of self that says, I got me, I don't care what's going on, hell can break loose, I'm going to be heaven in the hell. I'm going to be the calm in the chaos. I got me, no matter what. When we live like that, that is the deepest form of love. The Spirit says, I pour all over you, and out of you, and through you. And wherever you go, I am present, and I know that, and you allow me. Thank you. And we are here to show up as that which we are, which is spirit. We are spirit running through us in every breath. That's why they say breath is life. Water is life. It is the things we need to keep things moving, to keep things flowing, so these blockages in our system can start to move out, so the illnesses, these tragedies that we call life, become fertile. And they become what we build our life off of. No longer do we look away, we look right at it. Because within you is the power of that. It is the divine power of spirit, always running, never not, that you can count on 24/7. And when you really get it, when you really get that that's afforded to you, and you say yes to that, your life will never, ever be the same. Never. And you will have what I call stepping into your promised land, where all things are possible, truly possible. You'll have a thought about somebody, and the phone rings, or you get a text, and you no longer go, wow, that's weird. You go like, of course. Of course. You start living in that world where it becomes easier, softer, more loving. You can look at hard stuff on TV. You can look at hard stuff on social media and go like, that's unfortunate. That's not how I feel. That's not how I believe. You're rooted in self, rooted in love. Every breath you take, every sip of water you drink, bring it in with God, bring it in with grace. Know that it is nourishing you every day, every breath. Conscious, subconscious, unconscious, it doesn't matter, it doesn't care, it's just what it is, and that's what it does. And you are that. And it doesn't take the depths that you think it probably does. What I have learned, and what has been the hardest thing for me to accept in my life in the journey of loving and healing self, is what Spirit told me in the very beginning. Keep it simple. This wants to get spreadsheets, wants to make a plan, got to have a strategy, got to have a list, I got to know who I'm going for, what I'm doing, And Spirit says, man, this is probably going to take you longer, but you can choose that, or you can just get still and stop telling yourself, I don't know. It's my favorite thing to do in coaching with people, is to let them just tell me what they got to get off their chest, and all I'm doing is I'm writing the recipe that they're telling me that they're not hearing. And then I'll go, hey, yeah, let's just go, and what about this? And the look is like heaven sent, like, how did you know that? And they're like, oh my God, that feels right to me. Yeah. Wow. How did you know that? Well, you said it like I think I marked it at 10:02. You said this. I said that. Yeah, that's what you said. That's all I do. I just dictate. And then I just tell you back what you said, and then we figure it out. It's in there. It's calling out all the time to us. And we are not paying attention. So if you've ever had an experience in your life where somebody came up and maybe gave you a little bit of an affront. And you were like, whew, like I'm trying to hold it together, right? You're swallowing it. It's embedding in your tissues. It is embedding in your body. But if you have a moment by yourself, and after that is done, and maybe you get in your car and you just scream, and your body goes, oh, yeah. Anybody ever had that moment where you just, that which you were holding, now you think about that over the course of your life. Every time you swallowed, every time you held, every time you wanted to say something and you didn't say it, it's in here. It never goes away until you come back for it. And Spirit says, you have the divine right, my child, to clear your house. Get yourself in order and do my favor. And you are its favorite. And you are here to be that love out there, but first, here is where love resides. It's home. It is what we're called to. And the funny thing is, we all know it. It is our divine truth. We know it. We never have not known it. Every time we do something not in alignment, we feel, oh, that doesn't feel good. Why does that not feel good? You don't ever ask. You're just like, does it feel good? I don't know either. And in fact, we should go, that doesn't feel good to me. Does it feel good to you? Yeah, let's think of something different. What if we did this? Look at it. It's not hard. It's actually simple. Love yourself. Face whatever you have to face, because Spirit's right there with you going, I got you 100%. I got you every day of your life. I have you every minute. There's no time I do not have you. And what I say to you is clean your house. Clean it. I live there. Clean your house. You have the power within you to do anything and everything that you ever wanted to do that you didn't even know you wanted to do. You're looking at somebody who spent 30 years of their life as a corporate executive in luxury beauty, luxury fashion, startups, helping people get their closets full of stuff. Helping people put on jackets, creating things for that, creating the layers. And the whole time I was doing it, I kept going, I love being of service, but it just seems a little super. This isn't the meat of it. This isn't, so I love service, but this ain't it. And what am I going to do? And oh my gosh, got on my journey. Layers started to fall. Things started to happen. I got out of my way as best I could. Friends will tell you it was a rough one. A lot of tantrums, a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of it right here. And I kept saying, okay, fine, I'll do it. Fine, I'll leave what I've known. It's not the first time I've done that. I've had to leave parents that have passed. I've had to leave a lot of things in my life, a lot. But what I have gained far surpasses what I would have said I've lost. Because the truth is we lose nothing. No thing do we lose. It's stored for reference. Because it's a lesson. We don't have to go through that again. It's already known. And we just lean back in and go, I've been here before. Not that. I'm going over here. But thank you for reminding me. This is how we live our life. This is where the land of plenty is. It is within you. It is in this space right here. When you live and speak and operate from here, You know what happens up here? It does not turn off. It gets into alignment. It goes, you know what? That was right. I bow to that. And it slows down, and it doesn't shut off, it just slows down. And then this says, give me 3 things to ponder on this. How about these 3? Okay. Number 2. I'm going to. This said, man, should have been 1, but we do. But we just know. And we live into that. Live into yourself. Live into what's poured into you from the minute you took your first breath. It was already there. The breath just activated it. And as a breath worker, I will say to you, whenever you are in the thick of it, just realize, who has it? Does it have me? Or do I have it? And if it's the first one, take a really big deep breath. Come back to yourself. Come back to your consciousness. The awareness. That breath is going to pour it through you like no other. And then you're going to be able to go, okay, what is needed?
Yes.
And that's where you live. And that's where you live from. So know you're always in control. You always have the control. You have whatever you want. I went from being a corporate executive just 5 years ago to starting a company called The Love Effect that actually was a divine download for me. That I got it kind of wrong the first time in a way. I was like, let's just love everybody. Everybody just love everybody. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? What is that? And after a while, I was like, why am I beating my head against what I thought was just going to be natural? And I realized in that moment, oh no, people don't know love.
Right.
They don't know what that is. It's only out here. And how do I serve out here? When it's in here, served in here, feel it in here. So I just say to you, if you do not love yourself, this out here, that's going to be the love you get. To the degree that you love yourself is to the degree that you will experience love in your life everywhere. So open your heart. Look at your stuff. Your stuff is sitting there with gold all around you. Look at it. Capture it. Learn the lesson. Put it in your pocket. File the rest away for recall. Open that heart. Take your breath and step out into all of that that is the great unknown for you, so you can go be the great explorer of life, where you pan your gold and you know who you are, and you see somebody down and you pick them up. You keep going. You keep going. You go and serve. However it is, it calls to you. Mine is coaching, sound facilitation, breath work, a lot of other different stuff, so we can reach in that body and start pulling stuff out and getting it whole and complete again. But I don't know what yours is. I don't know what yours is, or yours, or yours, or yours. That's your journey. That's your exploration. That's the seeking part. Seek you. And in seeking you, you will find. I assure you, you will find God. You will find Spirit. And you're going to find it when you know it and you see it in the mirror.